Today we're going to talk about how PhDs work, drama in the YouTube sphere, and a bunch of my favorite YouTubers, and I promise they're all connected, so let's get started. Hi, by the way, my name's Nick. Welcome. So, PhDs. If you have a PhD, or you've been ever interested in a PhD, you probably know all this stuff. But for the rest of us normal people that aren't super nerds, let's talk about it. So, there is science. There's a body of knowledge that has been built upon since the dawn of mankind, and we know things. Cool, we're on the same page. Now, if we want to discover something new, you have to do some research. You have to do some experiments. You have to synthesize new information. And the way the PhD system works is essentially if you want to get a PhD, you have to discover something new. And you have to base that new thing upon all of the previous research that's been done. So any PhD program worth its salt, you don't get to just like enter a room and be like, hello, I know what's up. You're all idiots. Oh, well, actually, sorry. That would be an okay thesis. So let me back up. A not okay thesis would be, hi, I know what's up. I'm the best and I know what's best. Here we go. That's not an okay thesis. Why is it not okay? It's not okay because you're not acknowledging the previously built foundational knowledge, right? So if you want to be a political philosopher and you just say like, I know the right stuff about politics, but you're not talking about John Locke or Rousseau or Kant or any of these, if you don't reference any previous work and almost more importantly, if you don't reference any of the contemporary scholars that go through that work and their ideas, then you're not joining the conversation. You're just putting ideas out into the ether and it's not productive. Similarly, you can imagine like if you and a close family member have been having an intense argument about something political for years, right? You've really talked through the points and mapped it all out. And then your brother comes in and is just like, well, actually, I think you're both wrong because blah, blah, blah. It's just not going to be, it's not going to feel very productive or respectful, right? And so the way the PhD system works, the point is that you have this body of knowledge and you're able to add to it, but you have to build upon what is previously there. You can't just show up and dismiss all the previous stuff and say your piece. You can. People do that all the time. You can publish your own books and you can make your own YouTube videos, which was what I'm getting to and whatever. But it's not going to be like peer-reviewed research, right? And I know there's problems with the PhD systems and peer review and whatever. But for the most part, the concept makes sense. Argue with me in the comments. All right, let's talk about magic YouTubers. So I find it strange how many up-and-coming magic YouTubers I watch that enter the fray and say, I know what's up. Let me talk about it. And perhaps I'm one of these. So maybe this is hypocritical, but I like to think that I have cited my sources, so to speak. But that's not the point. I'm not trying to throw shade because I watch like any new YouTuber that talks about making money selling magic cards. I want to watch them and I'm going to go over some. And I want you, if there's like a new YouTuber that is making content about selling magic cards, or an old YouTuber that I don't bring up in this video, I want to know them because I want to subscribe to them and I want to watch their content. I can't get enough. In my Discord channel, I have a channel where I just share YouTube videos that I find to be awesome and really informational and interesting. Because for me, this is what I do for fun. That's why I'm here. So this isn't to throw shade. I'm a big supporter of all these groups. But what I find interesting is how many channels and new and up and coming people I see that are throwing shade. And I guess I'm throwing shade for throwing shade. I don't know. that's some way this is hypocritical, but I'm still going to make my piece, is that if you're a brand new YouTuber with, the amount of subscribers I have, like 1,200 or whatever, and you show up and you're like, the way these other sellers, the other people on YouTube are talking about it is misleading and wrong. It's quite bold, right? Like, I don't think I've done that. Maybe I have, if someone quote me to myself. But like, I share what I do and what's worked for me. But it's quite bold to look at somebody else and be like, you know what you say you're doing that's working for you? No, no, that doesn't work for you, and it shouldn't work for you or work for anybody else. We're all figuring this out for the most part, right? Nobody here is like a source that's just like totally has it down. Thinking back to the PhD analogy, the way I see it, like, I guess we can get to my Miro board. Miro, not a sponsor. Also, none of these people are sponsors. These are all YouTube channels that I watch regularly. There's some duplicates here because I've kind of made groupings and such, but I'm going to touch on each one of these. Actually, I don't watch that guy. So sorry, no shade. So there's lots of channels here. The way I see it, like, in my opinion, if you own a game store, you're just a like better resource. I don't know. I guess if you're a backpack seller and you want to learn how to be a backpack seller, maybe a backpack seller is a better resource to learn how to be a backpack seller. But if you're interested in like the trading card markets and how things go and ups and downs and what products do well and what don't, and the best prices and distribution and scaling, I feel like people who own trading card stores, businesses, are the sources. Like, in my mind, they're like experienced PhDs who have written many articles and published a lot of research, like the ones who make YouTube videos, right? So, and that's mostly like this distro partners group here at the top. It's like Louis with Kitchen Table TCG, Rob with RNG Games, Rudy with Alpha Investments, Anon with Anon, Kevin with Rogue Deck Builder, Final Trade, that guy. Final Trade's kind of a smaller one. I think he also does distribution, so I'm just going to double him because he's got a smallish YouTube channel, but he has a distribution, Patreon, whatever program. And anyways, all of these people, they own card stores. Actually, Dex and Dice down here is another one that I find really fascinating because the Dex and Dice guy owns a card store and he's got a small channel that's up and coming. Yeah, I say that. He has more subscribers than me, but go check him out because all of these people, I find their advice and their knowledge about the industry and what it takes to sell cardboard to be absolutely like incredible. So that's my take. And then you get backpack sellers like me, like an up and coming Hound Dog Gaming is another YouTube channel I've been watching. I've really been enjoying. He shares his thoughts and gets shade for it. And it's cool. It's cool to see a YouTuber just, not be concerned about what people think and just say their thoughts, even if people disagree. Vast majority of people disagree. It's fun. Oh yeah, Game Vitamins also owns a store. There's just a number of people here that are incredible wells of knowledge that publish on YouTube regularly. It's like Rob with RNG Games posts maybe once a month. Kevin with Rogue Deck Builder, he'll post like every other day for like a few weeks, then he'll go like rogue for a couple months. Louis with Kitchen Table TCG, he's got his podcast on Fridays. Really interesting stuff. Even if it's not like now, and don't get me wrong, I think all of these people miss important, like, I think all of these channels have blind spots in the markets because, like, nobody knows everything, right? And that's part of the reason why I wanted to make YouTube channels. I thought I could add to the conversation, but that's the point, is that there's a conversation going on and each of us has a unique perspective. And if you want to make a YouTube channel and add your unique perspective, and then you get to find out if people find that unique perspective valuable, right? If people are watching your videos and subscribing and liking and stuff, and it's like, wow, my unique perspective is adding value to these people's lives. Really cool thing. And so there's an opportunity, by the way, to join the conversation. But for the conversation that's happening, and the point that I was getting at earlier is it is hilarious to me when like a YouTuber comes in and is just like, I know what's up and these other people are wrong, when they're not even a store owner, they're not even a, somebody who has like more than 1,000 subscribers. Just interesting. For the record, I don't have much more than 1,000 subscribers. So like I said, there's something hypocritical about my point, but let me go through these YouTubers and let me talk about what I love about them, because that's really what I wanted to get to, is that I love the ecosystem of YouTube and Magic the Gathering. I like where it's at. I think it could get better. I think there's room to grow. I think that we could have twice as many names up on this Miro board and it would still feel like it could feel good. Because the thing is that a lot of these people, especially these store owners, they don't make a lot of content, which sucks. Like if Louis made a video every day, I'd watch every single video. Same thing with Kevin, same thing with Rob, probably with Rudy. I only say probably because like sometimes his videos are quite like, and he says this too, I'm not like saying something that Rudy doesn't believe about himself. A lot of his videos get summarized down to, if you buy something and hold on to it, you can make money, stay the course, and it's like, it's the same message over and over again, which, is good. It's entertaining. It's good stuff. Game Vitamins, it's like Final Trade makes more videos, which I really appreciate. Anon makes more videos, which I really appreciate. And all these people, when they do make a video, like when Rob's video comes out once a month, it's like, oh yes, this is going to be special. So maybe it's a good strategy to not make videos every day. And the reason these people, like all these people, love YouTube, I'm sure if they could make videos every day, they would, right? It's just a thing about time. And it turns out when you own a trading card business, it's hard. It's a hard thing. Anyways. But let me go over some of these other names. I mean, so I've talked about these distro partners pretty well, where they each have Patreon type programs where you can subscribe and get access to inventory at discounted costs. These are cool programs, man. If you're addicted to Magic like I am, like I would look into these. And I saw somebody who was like, what do they even offer? What are their prices? I don't know if it's a good deal. If it breaks your bank to like sign up for 1 month to find out, then like it's probably not for you. But I would say like if you've got $15, it is so worth it to just like subscribe to Kevin with Rogue Deck Builder and see what he's got and see what the Discord is and whatever. Subscribe to Louis with Kitchen Table TCG and like see what's available. I just, these are really cool programs. That's all I'll say. Not a sponsor. All right. But who else is on this list? The Professor with Tolarian Community College, the OG, the GOAT of all Magic content creation. If you don't know the Professor, you don't watch Magic content on YouTube. And I appreciate his takes. It can get reductive and I don't always agree, but he says what he believes and what's on his mind, and that's really cool. I love it. Pleasant Kenobi, I really enjoy Pleasant Kenobi. Pleasant Kenobi's been around for a long time, and I subscribe. I was like one of his first 5,000 subscribers or whatever, and I just think he's great. Like once again, just authentic, interesting content about Magic and about interesting topics in Magic. It's great. Meaty Magic, if you know, you know. Meaty Magic has its own category because that's how it is, not kid friendly. Anyways, moving on. Joel R. Magic. Joel commented on on a video or a live stream. I said that Joel was pure hearted and he commented, and so I got what I wanted. Ha ha ha, Joel, you fell for my ploy. I'm just looking for clout. And I complimented you so I could get it. But seriously, good channel, good way to, like, if I want to know if a secret lair is worth it, I watch his videos. He does these really good videos on when cards are hitting their bottom, like when it's the right time to pick up cards, because cards will go through these cycles, right? Where the set comes out, prices are hyped, you can pay a lot and get the card today, or you can wait like 3 months, and Joel maps that out and will be like, today's the day, it's the bottom price, go buy your singles for Lauren Clips today, because it's a good deal. Anyway, really cool stuff. MTG Moxman, good content, good updates, good stuff. Not a ton, I'm not a super fan, but I'm a fan. Josh with Hometown TCG. I love his participation in the May the Zoo Be With You podcast that he does with Louie. He does his own videos too. Authentic, interesting. I don't agree with a lot of his views. Same thing with Louie. I think, secretly, by the way, folks, in case you didn't know, my life goal is to be a special guest on the May the Zoo Be With You podcast at some point. Full stop. All right, I've said it. I love Josh and Louie. I think they're great. They don't know who I am, and that's fine. But like I said, someday, baby, we can argue about collector booster box prices and what the price should be. eBay talked about these game vitamins. Great stuff, great content. Also wish that they publish more. I wish all these people publish more. Now, these up and coming YouTubers, these are two that I have found recently and that I've really enjoyed. Dex and Dice he's a store owner, and he talks about what it takes to run a trading card business. And he talks about backpack selling, and he talks about owning a store, and I've just been enjoying it. I've really been enjoying it. Hound Dog Gaming, backpack seller, and he is mapping out his journey as a backpack seller. I'm a backpack seller, by the way, right? We don't own game stores. I think it's supposed to be a derogatory term. I don't find it offensive at all. I don't, if there's a less offensive term, like if you're a backpack seller and you feel that it's offensive, let me know in the comment section what we should call ourselves so we can be PC, everybody. And then Final Trade is up and coming. It's not really fair. Final Trade's been making videos for a long time, has lots of great videos, lots of great content, great Patreon program, whatever. So I'm actually going to remove him from up and coming YouTubers because Final Trade is a established YouTuber. Yeah. Anyway, so the question is, who am I missing? Who are the up and coming other YouTubers that deal with Magic, buying and selling and stuff? I know there's lots of Pokemon people, and I follow them. I watch them too, like PokePasture or Phantom Cards or whatever. They're awesome. I love them, but they're not Magic, or they're not focused on, oh, you know who else there is? There's Bronze God. Oh my gosh. Let me add, is he up and coming, or is he like established? I don't know. He's going to be up and coming for the sake of this Miro board. Bronze God is legit. He did a video recently on opening Foundations Jumpstart. He does Pokemon too. Boo, Pokemon, but he does Magic. Does a lot of Magic. So that's good stuff. Yeah, there's a lot of Pokemon sellers that have great advice who you should follow. Like, you should look up, if you're really interested in getting into the backpack selling, the like selling cards out of your basement game, you should look up and know PokePasture and Phantom Cards and Bronze God, of course, and people like that. But I'm focusing, my passion is for Magic the Gathering. And so, in their passions for Pokemon. And so that's cool. But yeah, so who am I forgetting? Please comment below. If you are an upcoming, if you're making YouTube videos, I don't care if you have 0 subscribers. If you're making YouTube videos about selling Magic cards, I am interested, and I want to know who you are, and I want to put you on my cute Miro board. It's good stuff. So the takeaways from today: we have a incredible ecosystem of creators who are putting in a lot of effort to educate and to spread knowledge and share ideas about buying and selling and collecting and trading and vending and grading Magic the Gathering cards. It is incredible. It is fun to be a part of. I love being a part of it. I hope to establish myself on someone else's Miro board someday. But I find it silly, the drama, because this video is about drama. I find it silly when, especially smaller creators, but really when anybody goes out and establishes themselves as the authority and is like, these other creators are wrong, I know what is right. I just think that's interesting. I would prefer if people made videos where they just say, this is what I do, right? I think that adds to the conversation. When you go out and you say, no, these people are really wrong. I guess like and these people believe it and they should say what they believe. Is anyone doing anything wrong? No, not really. I'm just saying it's drama. But alas. And then last point is there's a lot of excellent YouTubers out there. You should check them out, watch their videos, listen to their videos. I mostly listen. I'm one of the scrubs that pays for YouTube Premium, so I can like listen or whatever. It's great. YouTube Premium, not a sponsor. All right. Thank you. Thank you for watching. You, viewer, are my sponsors, and I'm very grateful for you just by watching. Thank you. Thank you for being here. And subscribe. That'd also be great. If you could, please subscribe. We'll see you.